then okay, now Big Shaq he runs into another suit of armor in the castle, makes the noise.
Okay.
So now you're sitting there like, oh crap, did the guards hear? What's going on? So now your dungeon master would roll in his little area for the guards. So did the guards hear that?
So hold on. So the dungeon master is also a player in the game?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, it's like you're playing. So picture you're playing a video game, right?
All right.
And you're controlling Solid Snake.
Okay.
Right. But then somebody else is in control of Revolver Ocelot.
Okay.
And basically, Revolver Ocelot has to make moves. He can't just. He doesn't have an AI to make a move. So a person got to make a move.
I was about to say, we're not getting the AI talk again, are we?
No, we're good.
Okay.
But yeah, so essentially that's what it is. Your DM plays all the other characters in the game.
Okay.
So you have to your main concern is your own character, your person, and then he's and then everybody else is worried about the other characters, like the D&D, your own D&D, your own. So you worried about yours,
okay,
and then the DM worries about everybody else in the game.
Okay.
Which can get taxing sometimes because, like I said, you get in there and then the DM has to worry about like because you do an encounter and sometimes it's like, so you have 6 players,
right?
But then you have 12 monsters. So now you got 20 people that you got to deal with, or 18 people you got to deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you got to go back and forth, and you got to usually they set up a board, and then they go through and be like, all right, you go in this order, because you roll your dice. Like again, you roll a d20,
yeah, and
then your d20 rolls a certain number, and it's like any board game.
Okay.
When you go for order, because most time you either go by like age, like usually do the youngest person or the oldest person, but in D&D you roll the dice.
Oh, nice.
So if you roll the dice and you roll a 20, then you go first.
Okay.
But if 2 people roll 20, then they have to roll again and see who out of those 2 would go first and who would go second.
Okay.
And then if you roll 1, then you'll be last.
Nice.
And it's the same thing. And like I said, the D20 is the most used dice in the D&D game.
Oh, that's dope. Okay.
So it just just keep it going from that.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, you do your checks, your stealth checks to get in the castle and all that other stuff, and then you determine on whatever. And then, like I said, your DM would determine if the guards heard by his rolls. So he rolls, and say the check, because maybe the guards are all the way down at the end of the hall.
Right.
So then the check would be. It would be hard. It would be easier because they're further away, so their chances of hearing it might be less.
Okay.
As opposed to like if they're right on the other side of the door, then then they give you you get the checks. So your checks are like different numbers. So they're set numbers usually.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, that the guard's check is like maybe 11. Okay, cool. Well, Shaq rolled a 5.
Right.
Okay, he heard that.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because it wasn't over. If it would have been 12, then he wouldn't have heard it.
Okay.
He didn't roll. So yeah, so you get those checks, okay. And then there's a specific. So say, okay, now the guards know they're coming in, right? Yeah. And they're like, oh crap, we got to hold this door so we can get out of here.
Yeah.
Well, and then like say they gotta make a rope. Okay, I need like a minute to make this rope to tie the knot.
Okay.
All right, cool. Barbarian, I need you to hold that door closed. Now you got to roll a strength check. so the barbarian, but in this situation, the barbarian has the advantage because he's a barbarian. He's strong. He's a big guy.
Okay.
So now he can roll with advantage to hold the door shut, and then go about like that.
Okay.
And I mean, this is kind of like the basic version of how it works, because it's a little bit more detailed once you actually get the game and get into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is like, okay, yeah, that's the simplified version.
Okay. Damn, that's crazy. Okay, well,
yeah, because there's checks for everything. Like you can do pretty much anything in the game. Okay. Anything that you can pretty much think of, you can do. And then if you have a really good DM that's cool,
yeah,
he'll let you do a lot of the stuff. And then, like I said, there's other characters in there that are just like there's a dude called Artificer.
Yeah,
and the Artificer is basically like an inventor.
Yeah.
So he tinkers with like metal and stuff like that, builds little mechanical like magical robots and stuff like that. Okay. So and then he could build like you want him to build you a mechanical arm because you got your arm chopped off.
Yeah.
The Artificer can do that.
Holy shit. Okay. Well, that's a good bit of background on the game itself, and then the fact that you said Gary Gygax or Gygax?
Gygax.
Okay. You said I'm trying to figure out what was going through this dude's head when he came up with this shit, because he had to either be, like I was about to say, I'm not gonna say that. That'd be fucked up. I was about to say well, the last time I said something about special needs, man, I was told about myself and shit like that. So I'm not gonna say that. Let's just say this man had to be, really, really fucking free thinking when he came up with this game and shit like that,
Well, I'm saying, you got to think back in the day. It was a different world.
Yeah.
You had your jocks, you had your nerds.
Yeah.
It wasn't no like, oh yeah, I watched anime and I'm cool, but them days wasn't a thing.
Okay.
they want to hear you. So he probably was a introvert type of deal, and he probably didn't have a lot of friends. Yeah, he might have had friends, but they were all probably nerds like he was.
Probably.
But what it was is they like to play. They like to play these old war games.
Okay.
And that's essentially what D&D was based off of.
Right.
So like the old tabletop war games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like I don't know if you ever heard of Axis and Allies.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it was that, but then they were like, did we make it in a fantasy setting? Okay. And then because he read a lot of like Tolkien and all that Lord of the Rings stuff.
Okay.
So that's why all the characters are like ogres and goblins and barbarians and stuff like that, is because that was a big inspiration to D&D was Tolkien. Like the original D&D, it was hella racist.
Holy shit.
It was hella racist because he it wasn't like, I don't know if it was intentional like that, but basically, it like, because think about, okay, well, the Lord of the Rings was just racist in general because they designed because old dude Tolkien he wrote that shit during World War II.
God,
I think.
Damn.
Yeah, it's that old.
That's what we get for fucking these damn racist video games and books and shit. Damn.
So what was going on when that shit happened?
Okay.
World War II. And then, all right, now you got Imperial Japan fucking people up, doing shit. Well, that was originally what the ogres were coded as.
Okay.
In Lord of the Rings. The orcs or whatever in Lord of the Rings. They were supposed to be like Imperial Japanese dudes.
Oh, hell no. Serious business.
Yeah, bro.
Damn.
Like back in 2018 when I got back to the States and I started playing D&D again.
Yeah.
That's when they started changing everything. You know, because everybody was getting woke and you know all that stuff. So
nice.
So you know, and then the main community that was D&D, they were the outcasts.
Okay.
You know, so all your LGBTQ people play it a lot. Your nerds. So it was all the people that got shunned. It was the main players of the game, like prior to Stranger Things, because Stranger Things just like it was like one of those things where it's like, this is old, but we made it cool again. And that's essentially what happened, because once Stranger Things came out, it kind of came to the mainstream again, and everybody's like, "What's D&D?"
Yeah.
Oh man, I heard about this before.
Well, hold on. Before you go into that, because I want to talk about that when we come back from this break and everything. I do want to talk about the history of how. Well, we already covered that. I want to talk about how D&D, I guess, made a reemergence because of Stranger Things. So, Chatt R Boxx Podcast. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, I want y'all to know, y'all asked for this, okay? Y'all wanted to know about this epic movie review, so here it is. And I got the right guy for the job to give y'all that background information about D&D. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about how Duengeons and Dragons made its reemergence through not just social media, but, you know, entertainment in general. So, all right, Buck, you ready to give them that business when we come back, man?
Yes, sir.
All right. So y'all don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to get back into this D&D. But don't worry. We are going to do this epic movie review. We just got to, you know, give y'all a little bit of background information for those who don't know about Duengeons and Dragons and shit. Might be one of those things, you hear something you like, you might actually want to be become a part of the D&D family, if you will. So we'll be back. Y'all don't go nowhere. All right? They've got so much things to say. Yep, we back. We back.
We back up in this piece.
Yep. All right. So before we left, I had to slow Buck Wild down because, you know, he get on these topics of D&D and everything, and then it's hard to get him to calm down, you know.
Oh yeah.
So before we left, we was talking about how he was giving y'all a history lesson. All right, dropping mad knowledge on y'all. Chatbox. God damn it. Chatt R Boxx Podcast, who's giving y'all mad knowledge and history about Duengeons and Dragons. For those who don't know, if you do know, then you know, you and Buck Wild got something to talk about and everything. So, but before we left, we was about to jump into how. So, Buck, did Duengeons and Dragons actually like fall off at some point? And if so, you know, was it Stranger Things, the Netflix series, that actually brought it to the forefront? Or what happened with D&D, man? Because it seems like over time D&D had, you know, kept its following, but it just kind of, you know, stayed to just those who were big into D&D. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like I said before, you know, only recently, like what, last 4 or 5 years,
right?
Being a nerd has been pushed back up to being cool.
Damn.
Because, you know, it didn't used to be like that.
Okay.
No, especially now when I was a kid.
Okay.
Like when I was a kid, I had to watch Dragon Ball Z and fucking in silence in the darkest dungeons.
Nice.
Couldn't talk about it out loud, or be like, "What the hell are you, a lame, you motherfucker?
Okay.
You watching damn anime, you nerd?" And then, you know, I gotta fight. Then I gotta fight.
Got to fight these motherfuckers.
It was one of them things.
Got to fight somebody.
I